John alluded that they wouldn't put out music until it felt right. Well, that one certainly felt right to us here at Line 1. It's your wildest dreams from the other side of life, the latest from the Moody Blues. And we're going to go to the phones right away right now. One of our favorite fans of Line 1 is listening in Columbus to WLVQ, and Rob is on the line now. What's your question, Rob?
Hello. Hey, Sky.
All right.
First of all, I wanted to say that I really love the show.
Well, thank you.
And I wanted to ask you guys, being a musician myself, how long it took you before you really got your first record and stuff, like your first record contract, and was there any real struggling involved?
Hi, this is John here. I think things are slightly different now, but we were working together in various bands and various combinations for about 4 years before we actually got a record contract, or a record audition actually. So it took a long time, and I'd probably work in six shows a night, 6 clubs a night before that. It's sort of a long apprenticeship.
Were you actively pursuing a record deal all along, or were you just waiting and then went after it after a period of time?
I think everyone else, you looked at people who were sort of rock stars had the record contracts. I don't think groups at the time in England thought about getting a record contract. It was just sort of playing in clubs and having your own people follow you.
All right, well, thank you for the answer. And Rob, once again, thanks for joining us on Line 1. Steve is listening in Joplin, Missouri. He's listening to KKUZ. Steve, what's on your mind right now?
Well, first of all, guys, I sure loved Blue Jays when you two did that album. But considering that the group had broken up just prior to that, I was wondering, how did the two of you decide to do Blue Jays? And did you purposely make it sound like a Moody Blues album?
Yeah, hi, this is Justin. Well, I think, for better or worse, we have a particular kind of style of, so whatever we do, it's always going to sound a bit like the Moodies anyway, and particularly if you get 2 guys out of that band, and to also writing a lot of the material that the Moodies do, you can't help, having it sound like the Moodies. But when the Moodies, we didn't actually sort of split, we just kind of drifted apart, and then John and I, it just seemed the most logical thing to do. It's something we'd been meaning to do before that, and it was a bit of a release in a way, and we enjoyed it very much. We toured with the Blue Jays band over here and had a lot of fun.
Kevin, who's listening in Joplin at KKUZ, has a question regarding Nights in White Satin. Kevin, go right ahead.
Hi.
Hello, buddy.
Hi, Kevin.
What's your question?
I was wondering if the Kite Belt, when Nights in White Satin became a hit here in America in 1972, 4 years after it was released.
Well, this is Justin speaking. I mean, we always knew there was something in the record, even though it took, 6 years to make it to the top. It actually was a #1 record in France. When it first came out, it was #1 there for 11 weeks. And it wasn't the first single off Days of Future Past. When that first came out in America, Tuesday Afternoon was the first single. But we always really believed in it, and a lot of other people didn't share that belief because it was like 4.5 minutes long. It was a stereo single as well, and it was like a slow kind of track. But we always knew, we knew what it meant to the people that we were playing it to in live concerts, and we knew it was destined to be a hit.
Well, eventually that belief was justified. We're going to go to Peter now. He's listening in the Boston area to WAAF. Peter, do you have a question for Justin and John?
I do. How you doing, Justin and John?
Fine, thank you.
Hi, Peter.
Good. First of all, I'd just like to wish both of you and the rest of the band the best of luck and good health in the coming years, and that I've been a long and loyal fan of yours for over 15 years, and I really do enjoy your music very, very much. My question is, how would you describe your musical evolution after the Seventh Sojourn album in 1972?
Good question.
This is John talking, Peter. Thank you very much for those things, and wish you the best as well. I think the evolution, because we did the Blue Jays album after Seventh Sojourn, gave us a view of how to record slightly differently to how we'd been recording up until then. And we sort of influences came in to the recording techniques of the Moody Blues. Like with the latest album, we've used a lot of time code machines, but we still use the harmonic and the interweaving themes, but using the modern technology. We started with the technology with the Mellotron and the Moogs and the Chamberlains, and we've developed through all the way through to the Kurzweilers, the DX7s, etc.
Well, hello, John and Justin. First of all, I'd just like to tell you how much your music has meant to me, and someday I plan to impress upon my own children many of the ideas expressed in your own music. My question is, I've noticed through the years that Justin, your name has dominated much of the credits, and I was wondering if you tend to write a lot of tunes, more so than the other members, and if there's a lot of material you have that is yet unpublished.
Well, yes, I'm always writing. I think I just write for my own pleasure as well, and there's always material there that is unfinished. I've got a lot of it in demo form at my own little studio at home, and writing's a wonderful thing. It's kind of something from nothing, something that didn't exist 10 minutes ago is suddenly there, and it's something that I enjoy. It's a relaxation as well.
Mm-hmm. One more thing, if I may. I was wondering, what is your main guide in writing your music? Is it just everyday life as you experience it?
It really is, yes. It's the highs and lows, emotional highs and lows that everyone has, and sometimes even when you're really down, some of the greatest songs come out of that.
Well, you all, when you do your writing, is there any kind of democracy, I guess, that exists in the Moodies in terms of, all right, you have a couple of good songs here, Justin, John, you have a couple. How do you divide that up?
Well, it always naturally kind of falls into place on an album, and everyone has their own particular style of writing, and we tend not to over-record now because we don't like leaving stuff in the can. I always write before the album is started. In fact, we now demo everything that we do first and work on, make it good, really good demos, and often bring those into the studio and transfer them onto 24-track and work from there. But everyone has their own place and their own say on the album.
Well, we want to make sure that... yes, you were going to say something briefly, John.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we usually start off with, say, a track that Justin and I have written, and then that sort of gets everything underway, and then we usually try and keep the energy going, whether you need a rock track after that, or a ballad track, or a mid-tempo track, and the album usually dictates what is going on.
Okay, well, we've got to wrap it up right now. We're going to leave you now with a collection of classics from the Moodies. Thank you, guys.